Welcome to the first installment of Does It Suck, the show where we take a critical look at questionable pressings of popular records to see if it's worth your time and money. Today we're reviewing the Target exclusive vinyl recording of Pearl Jam's debut album, 10. Released in 1991, 10 quickly became one of the most iconic albums of the grunge era. With hits like Alive, Even Flow, and Jeremy, the album helped solidify Pearl Jam's place in rock history. But how does this exclusive vinyl recording from Target stack up? So here it is, the Target exclusive of Pearl Jam's 10, their debut album. Let's get this thing in the oven and see if it sucks. All right. Oh, that record is so good. I probably over the last, 5 years, I kind of rediscovered that record. I probably listened to it, 100 times, seems like. All right, so let's get into this. The first thing you're gonna notice is the sleeve, which, very basic, generic. You got this little Target hype sticker going there. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, nothing exciting here, just a real basic outer sleeve. Then you get this inner sleeve, which, despite the fact that you don't get a static-free lining or anything like that, it's actually nice. You got Pearl Jam nice and big there on one side, and then on the back you got all the production notes and lyrics and stuff like that. And it's cardboard, so it's actually nice. As for the record itself, it's on this pretty colored vinyl, so for people that are into that stuff, you will not be disappointed. This is a nice looking colored vinyl, purple, a little bit swirly. I don't know if you can see that. Mine is pretty subtle, but it's kind of a two-tone swirl there. With sort of original labels. I mean, these aren't exactly reproduced, but it's, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of the same label that originally was on these records. So that's the presentation. How about the music? I mean, obviously the music on this record is awesome. I mean, this is such a great record. And you know what's really difficult? It's difficult to tell if there is distortion on such a loud guitar heavy album. So I was listening closely for that. And to be honest with you, I didn't really hear any distortion. The mix is nice. It's EQ'd nice. There's decent dynamic range. And believe me when I tell you, I was really trying to find something not to like about this record. I was listening to the drums, the bass, each instrument individually, making sure that it came through in the mix, and it does, and it's clear. Again, not distorted. Eddie Vedder's vocals are really nice and come forward and don't get lost in the mix, which is often the case in some of these newer budget pressings where you can really lose the vocals in the mix. But this is not the case on this record. I was especially listening for on Even Flow, where Eddie sings, and you can hear it kind of trail, into the back. It's really nice sound. It's present on this record. Both side 1 and side 2 sound consistent. I didn't find any inconsistency from track to track or anything like that. There were a couple pops and ticks after a clean, which, literally nothing for me that overpowered the music. It was just between songs where you would get like maybe one pop. I mean, I can totally live with that. That's nothing. If there was one complaint, it might be that it's a bit bassy. So the bottom end is pretty heavy. I was actually tempted to bump up the higher frequencies, and it was probably a little bit more enjoyable once you did that, but that's going to be subjective. If you're the kind of listener that has no problem tweaking your EQ, then you're gonna be perfectly happy. If you're someone that has to have flat EQ across the spectrum, then you might find this record a little bit bassy. But if I compare that to other records that I've had that were a little bit bottom heavy, bumping up the higher frequencies sometimes doesn't help. In those cases, it's not really an EQ problem. It's more of a problem with the mix. I didn't find this in this record. Like I said, I bumped up the high mids just a tad, and it was a little bit more enjoyable for me on my system. Your mileage could vary. So the all-important question, does it suck? Well, it does not suck. I don't have an original to compare this to, so I'm comparing it to, what I hear on Spotify and just my own ears, my own comparison to other records in my collection similar to this one, and it was enjoyable. Like I said, I went into it wanting to find something to hate. I could not find something to hate. If you're in Target and you were peeking at Pearl Jam's 10, I would say go ahead and pull the trigger. This is one of the more affordable ones there. I want to say I paid like 17 bucks for this, which all things considered, I think is a real steal. Obviously, clean your record. If the paper sleeve thing bothers you, replace the sleeve and maybe bump up the top end just a little bit. Other than that, I think this is a very listenable record. I will bust this record out anytime I feel like listening to it, and I don't feel like I need to replace it. I feel like I got a bargain. So that's it for this short but sweet first offering of Does It Suck? And as I said, in this case, no, it does not suck. It's the opposite of suck. No, that would say it doesn't blow. What's the opposite of sucks? Doesn't suck, it doesn't blow. Let me know in the comments, what's the opposite of suck? Let me know in the comments what you think of this record if you have one. Let me know if you snag one after seeing this review, and if you either hate me or are there other Target exclusives that you would recommend? Are there Target exclusives that you would say stay away from like the plague? Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.